Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the CEC15 business meeting. It's January 11th, 2022, and I will hand the floor over to Antonia to get us started.
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6:34. There are no interpreters on this call as this is a business meeting. Let me call the roll. Camille Casaretti.
Present.
Antonia Ferraro. Yes, I'm here. Tia Shellsteed.
Present.
Oh, Tia's here. Yay. Vincent Liu, I believe, has an excused absence. Is that correct?
He has a work-related absence.
And we determined that to be excused?
We would vote on that.
Ah, okay. So we will have to vote on his absence. Nana Poku?
Present.
Yes. Alfred? Okay. No. Joseph?
Present.
Yvonne Bonda? No, Yvonne Bonda. All right, maybe he'll come later. Nancy Randall?
Present.
And Jared Moser.
Present.
Okay, so we do have quorum, so we can proceed, and I'll just post a reminder in the chat to please sign the attendance sheet. Hold on a second. Yes, please follow the link and sign the attendance sheet if you would. All right, I will, shall I read the introduction, Camille, or because it's a business meeting? No.
Let's skip over it since we have so much on this agenda.
Okay, all right, so we'll
Thanks.
skip to the public comment protocol.
Okay. Thank you for joining or coming to the. Is that right? Am I reading the right thing? Sorry. Tonight's meeting is taking place remotely and will include a public comment period. So we may, after certain sections, so that we may allow for additional feedback from our families and school community members. You may leave your camera on, but for your own privacy, if you prefer, you may use audio only during the comment period and throughout the meeting. When you comment or ask questions, please respect the privacy of others. Please do not include names of children or staff. Guests who make inappropriate comments will be removed from the meeting. During the public comment period, you may, you may add comments to the chat or raise your hand to speak. Speakers will be called on one at a time and will be allowed 1 minute for each comment. We will hear as many speakers as the time allows. It is possible that not every question will be given time, so the best way to get your question answered is always to write the CEC email address that is being put into the chat right now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you.
So welcome everyone to this CEC15 business meeting and a very happy new year to you all. I'm Camille Casaretti, the president of the District 15 Community Education Council. I hope everyone is staying safe and feeling well. I am super excited to announce that we have received a few applications for the 2 vacant member seats on our council. And we will be reaching out to those candidates this week to invite them to a meeting to introduce themselves to you all. So if you submitted an application through FACE and did not get a response, please write to us at cec15@schools.nyc.gov. There was at least one that got away. So we want to make sure that everybody who sent in an application is being vetted. I want to welcome the team from the District 15 office who are here with us tonight. Deputy Superintendent Nicole Lancellato and Christine Farrell, Brenda Diaz, and if you wouldn't mind just dropping your titles and contact info in the chat, that would be great in case anybody has any questions. Superintendent Scott is going to be joining us later. She is doing a principal interview at the moment. Because tonight is a business meeting, we won't have a general public comment period, but if anybody has a question for Superintendent Scott specifically, you can always reach her at skop, S-K-O-P, at schools.nyc.gov. So tonight we have Tamar Smith, Tamar Smith from the School Construction Authority. And she is going to be giving us a briefing on the proposed December 2021 amendment to the fiscal year 2020-2024 5-year capital plan. It's a mouthful. I will hand the floor over to Tamar to explain further. Thank you so much for being here, Tamar. Great to see you.
Hi, Camille. Hi, everybody from CEC. Happy New Year, and thank you so much for inviting me. I'm Tamar Smith from the New York City School Construction Authority, as Camille said. And every year I come before you to present the latest amendment to the SEA's capital plan. And so I'll give a few introductory remarks, and then actually I'll start to share right now so I can make sure that everybody sees what I have. Just please let me know if you can see the presentation. Is that good? Can everyone see that?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. All right, so I thank you again for inviting me, and I hope that you're all doing well and staying safe, as Camille said. I certainly agree. Thank you very much for having us. What we do each year is the 5-year capital plan, absolutely a mouthful, 5-year capital plan, fiscal year 2020 to 2024. But what's really interesting about the capital plan is that what we say is it's a living document. And it changes throughout the 5 years. So we're about halfway through the plan, and each year we're able to come to you with an amendment, and it actually happens twice a year, November and February, or December this year. And it's usually very good news, meaning added money to the capital plan. And so we come around to every CEC, we present the plan, the proposed amendment, and we answer your questions and we take your feedback. So that's what I'm doing here tonight. So here we'll just start. Hold on one sec. Just have to make sure I can go to the next slide. Okay, I'll do it this way. Alrighty, so at the School Construction Authority, our mission is to design and construct safe, attractive, and environmentally sound public schools for children throughout the many communities of New York City. We're dedicated to building and modernizing schools in a responsible, cost-effective manner while achieving the highest standards of excellence in safety, quality, and integrity. So I was saying tonight's meeting will be a general overview of the capital proposed amendment, your input and questions. And I ask you to please hold your questions to the end. I'll be here to answer them. And if there's anything I can't answer, I will get those answers and get them over to your CEC as soon as I can. All right, so capital plan and projects. And here is an overview of the general plan. It's the largest capital plan in New York City schools history. It is now $20.6 billion. And it's broken into these 3 general categories: $9.84 billion for capacity, brand new schools, additions, leased build outs, $7.26 billion in capital investment that renovates the schools that are existing right now, and 3.51 billion in mandated programs. Those are programs required by city, state, and federal law. Next. It's a little slow, sorry. Okay, here we go. So our highlights citywide. 8.44 billion for over 60,000 new school seats in fulfillment of the commitment to reduce overcrowding and advance equity. 1.41 billion in support of early learning, 3K and pre-K for all. $750 million for accessibility in our school buildings. 261 million for electrical work to support ACs in all classrooms by the end of 2021. And I'm happy to say that nearly all of District 15's electrical upgrades are finished. There are a few with very small parts to go, and they'll all be done in the next month or so. Over $1 billion for technology enhancements, and 352 dedicated to allow for removal of TCUs, which are trailers. All right, and so to break down the capacity bucket, new capacity, 6.34 billion, replacement program in case schools need to be replaced, over $1 billion, class size reduction, $740 million, capacity to remove TCUs, 302 million, and early child education, which now includes 3K and the early learn program, $1.41 billion. All right, and so now we focus on District 15, new schools. All right, so we look at school funding and what's needed in the district. We are looking for this one last project to be cited. We're working on it. It's actually, you know what this project is. It's the Fort Hamilton Parkway School, but this spot has been used as a COVID testing site for the last 2 years. So we will be happy to move forward with that when we're able to. And cited, we have the Harbor School at Delavan Street, the school on Schermerhorn, and a new school in a former Catholic school building on President Street. And then these just showing a couple that are in construction, but that were funded in construction or design, but that were funded in the former capital plan. So these two will open very soon. And this is that President Street School in Park Slope, September 2024. All of these were funded in the previous plan. And so now we get to the fun part, photos. So this is in construction and the rendering. Next one. Yeah, this is the school on 8th Avenue and 45th Street, 46th Street, actually. And will be occupied next year. This is the old police precinct. We're working on that. If you've passed it recently, it looks like the facade in a movie set now, as we start to build the new building around it. This is that former Catholic school I was mentioning. That's the Schermerhorn building that will contain Khalil Gibran High School and a new elementary school. This is the site of the Harbor Middle School. Okay, and then some pre-K and 3Ks in District 15. Two finalized cited pre-Ks, one in Sunset Park, actually 3K, and then the pre-K on 8th Street in Kiwanis. That's now in construction and will open in 2023. And the 3K center will open this coming September. We're doing those very quickly. And then two more that will be finalized, we hope very soon, on Atlantic Avenue, near the Michaels, if you know that, and on Van Brunt Street in Carroll Gardens. And it's a little weird angle, but it's the rendering of the one that just started in construction in Gowanus, that pre-K. Okay, now capital investment, in District 15. Alrighty, so the SEA performs major capital improvement work in existing buildings, in addition to building new schools. This work includes major projects in building systems, masonry repair, windows and roofs, new boilers, HVAC systems, and on all of these mentioned, electrical upgrades, major plumbing. And DOE's Division for School Facilities, and I believe your facilities manager, Patrice Miano, is here tonight. The DSF, which includes school custodial engineers, plant managers, and facility directors, is responsible for day-to-day maintenance and repair of school buildings. We are separate agencies, but we work together closely at all times to maintain New York City schools. So now a question we get all the time is, how does something become a capital project? In addition to suggestions from CECs, and we'll go over that in a few minutes, there are several routes, and they're all happening all at once. One is BCAS, the Building Condition Assessment Survey. We go out every year to every single building in the system, more than 1,400 school buildings, and we assess the entire building from basement to roof. Every single element of the building is rated on a rating scale, and a very, very thorough report is created, which you can look up. You can look up the BCAS report for every single school on the DOE's website. There's a tab called Facilities, and you can see your child's school building if you're interested. So projects that have a high rating and are likely to develop problems may become a capital project. A problem that is reported to the DOE DSF for some emergency or repair in a school that's determined to need a more extensive repair than DSF can do may become a capital project as well. Funding from elected officials, which we'll talk about a bit more, is a really important way that something can be a capital project. And then citywide initiatives. I mentioned the AC mayoral initiative. The city council can fund initiatives. Those can become capital projects as well. So in District 15, we did it kind of overall for this entire capital plan. And these are some highlights of categories that we've done. We've already done projects in, or they're in the plans. And you see we're committing $129 million to these sorts of projects. So these are the highlights. And in the capital plan, which I definitely recommend people look at, there's a whole section just for CEC15 that shows projects that are planned to be done in the upcoming year. So you can see what we've done and what we're planning to do. So here are some examples. These two schools getting exterior modifications, modernizations, I guess that's really the word. That's a very common project. Boiler replacements. PS94, we replaced all of the windows and did an electrical upgrade. PS32, replacing the boiler and installing an elevator and other accessibility work. PS172, just finished this, or just finishing up this beautiful standalone gym. It's part of the mayor's PE for All initiative. Okay, so funding from elected officials, extremely important complement to our capital plan. We're very grateful to all that they commit, because it allows us to do projects that aren't yet in the capital plan. So again, and this is even going back further to really give an overview of what has been committed to District 15 over the past 6 or 7 years. You can see a huge number of reservoir projects, and so much of that was technology, which is amazing and really brought schools, into the 21st century. So about over $35 million from your elected officials. And here is just a general example of what this looks like across the schools, from laptop carts to obviously filled with new laptops, new smart boards, and everything that falls into that category. But also, this doesn't look like much, but it's going to be a brand new science lab at Brooklyn College Academy in a few months, and then a really beautiful playground renovation at PS24. All right, and one thing we really want to highlight, because it's such an important part of who the SCA, what the SCA is as an agency, is our dedication to MWLBE programs, which are minority-owned, women-owned, and locally based business enterprises. And a mentor program, which brings along smaller construction firms, you know, that are owned by one of these groups, and we help them to learn how to, you know, really compete for big construction contracts. So across the city, SCA awarded more than $558 million in prime contracts to these firms. And in this district, more than 39 million. And our mentor program awarded over 81 million in these sorts of firms. So this is something we're very, very proud of in the city. All right, so now on to the CEC requests. And you know this, so you have a voice in requesting capital projects as well. Each year, CECs are asked to fill out a form indicating priority projects in schools in your district. We ask that you prioritize the top 5. Those will be reviewed first, but you're absolutely welcome to list more. And just remember, the SCA does major capital renovations, and carefully consider whether the projects you're prioritizing are capital eligible. Make sure, don't want to throw away your choices. And then, of course, for everyday repairs, principals should request repairs from custodians and DSF. Capital projects must provide a permanent enhancement with a lifespan of at least 5 years and a minimum cost of $50,000. So here's that form that you received from the SCA, and you know how to fill that out. And I know that Camille and Antonia have done this for years, and so it's due this year on Friday, January 14th, this week. And you know, just be in touch with the person who sent the form, and he can guide you through if you're having any trouble with you know, filling anything out or submitting it. Okay, so that's oh, wait, here's me. All right, so here's our contact information. I put my information down, and then our resume management specialist, because he is a great resource for talking about what's a good resume project and approximately what they might cost. And the city council's resume, I believe the deadline is February 22nd. I just saw that in the last couple of days. Not sure about the borough president, but so, you know, schools, I hope, are encouraged to do that, because it's just a great source of funding for what you want at your school. Okay, so thank you so much. That's my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Tamar. Thank you for this very thorough report. I am going to give the mic over to Joseph Alexander, who is going to moderate questions and answers. Go ahead, Joe.
I've given the statement for public comment already. So we'll move forward. Please raise your hand digitally or visibly if you have a question.
And we're just going to start with CEC members or members of the public.
We can start with, I was starting with the public, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry.
And I think that's enough time. Let's move to CEC members. Tia?
Hi, thank you, Tamara. That was a great presentation. Very clear and easy to understand. I guess I just wanted to ask about, you had mentioned the mayor's air conditioning for all. Of course, this was our former mayor. And we had, I believe, someone from facilities in one of our recent meetings come and say that 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 they were, and I know we have someone here, I don't know, maybe they want to chime in, but that they were now triaging repairs to air conditioning, whereas, and said that air conditioning for all only was applied to buildings that classrooms that didn't already have air conditioning. But we did have someone from facilities come before, and I'm sorry, I don't remember anyone's names, but who had said that that, you know, facilities had a blank check and that every single classroom by January was going to have functioning air conditioning. So there was like a little disparity there between those two things. You know, I know that repairs go under facilities, and then the new new air conditionings in previously unair conditioned classrooms would fall under SCA. So maybe could you shine some light on this for us?
Sure. I will ask Patrice Miano, who's here, but I can start by saying the projects that the SCA did mainly were the major electrical upgrades that allow buildings to not only support ACs, but I mean, you know, now probably the past 20 years, we have added so much electrical demand on the buildings, from smart boards to computers to and ACs as well. So the SCA had very large projects and some smaller ones to upgrade electrical panels and things like that. We were involved a bit in installing some air conditioning when we finished some of those jobs, but DSF did the very large job of installing and repairing, I guess, or probably just replacing,
Right.
yeah, ACs that weren't working. So Patrice, do you want to weigh in a
Well,
bit
when
on
it
that question?
I'm not really 100% sure on the repairs. I'm going
Yeah,
to be
probably just replacements, I'd imagine.
is what we've done in you know in I can't even think of the word. I'm sorry. Instead of doing the repairs, we don't even have a contractor right now for repairs. So I think it would be falling more under the replacement than the repairs. But I could double check and get back to you with any information.
Thank you.
All right. Hopefully that answered something. Antonio?
So nobody is doing the repairs currently on the air conditioners? Is that what I heard correctly? There's no contractor that repairs existing air conditioners?
DSF does not repair the existing, they'll replace them. We have the AC direct replacement that we do. We don't do repairs.
But the person who was here last time from facilities said that they were triaging and deciding which air conditioning they were going to repair and which they weren't.
Okay, again, if that is the case, I am not aware of it, but I could definitely get back to you on that. Do you recall who it was that had mentioned this so that I can contact them?
I believe it
I'm
was
so
Carmine.
Carmine?
I believe so.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll
He-
check
yeah.
tomorrow and we could definitely, clear that up.
Okay. My actual question, it was just, Tamar, could you just repeat the deadline in February for the city council Reso A.
Sure. I actually just got this from my own city council member. So I believe I'm writing it down in the chat. It's February 22nd.
February 22nd, and that's just for.
That's right.
That's for, oh, okay, here we go. One of your new city council members is here. So yes, thank you for confirming. Yeah, so that's for schools to speak with their city council members or and apply for funding for Reso A projects.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, and could you send us, you're going to send us this whole thing, this whole report so that we can put it on our website, right?
Somebody from my office sent it earlier today.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
Camille? Right? The presentation? I believe so.
I didn't see it. That was
No?
not me.
Okay.
And it was not sent.
I think
So
she did, but
thank you
I'll check
so
on that. I
much.
think everything was sent. Yeah.
Okay.
But if not, well, happy to send it again.
Okay, great.
Okay, I guess I'm going to go next. So Tamar, thank you so much. This was a great presentation. Really excited about all of these new spaces that are coming. Would you be able to discuss anything at all about the President Street School? I mean, I think in past meetings, we knew that the DOE was trying to negotiate something with the diocese, but did you actually purchase or is it another rental?
It's a lease.
Leased space.
Yeah, that's very common, for the diocese buildings. This one is a lease. Yeah.
So about how much work is going to have to be done in there? Because I've been in that space.
A lot. It's a lot of work. Yeah, it's funny because a lot of these buildings are schools already, but they need a lot of work. They've been in heavy use for a long time, and especially bringing them up to code for New York City public schools, bathroom fixture counts and all kinds of things. So it's not just cosmetic, it is a lot of work. Yeah.
That
public assembly,
space,
yeah.
so that's like the space, it goes from President through Carroll. Like you have all of the
That's a
space?
good question. I'd have to look at it from above, but yeah, it's the whole building. So if it backs up on Carroll, then yeah.
And what about Skimmerhorn Street? Because I've been driving by there and sort of watching the construction happen, but
Yeah.
is that going to be delayed?
I mean, not as far as I know. Let's see, I'm just looking back at the presentation. We have an opening date that has not been delayed so far. Maybe a couple of years ago, it might have been changed, but right now, let's see, I'm just checking 2024. So both schools, the new Khalil Gibran High School and then the new elementary school will open then.
And at what point would we start discussing well, for President Street? We haven't really talked to Superintendent Scott much about what her vision for that space would be. If it's going to be.
Well, it's also opening 2024. So yeah, there's a little bit of time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Will you be able to stick around for the next part of this meeting? Because this is where we're going to start talking about our priority list.
Sure.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else have any questions for Ms. Smith? Yvonne wrote something in the chat, but it came to me privately, I guess accidentally, because it's clearly a question for you. When the schools are under construction.
Sorry, yes. Yeah. No, go ahead, please.
No, Yvonne, it's your question. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was trying to, I was writing this question. Tamar, thank you very much. Your presentation, great and very informative. And especially with the reference to the building of 4302 4th Avenue, where the old precinct, when the schools are under construction, do we know what schools will be on those new buildings, or what is? Do you know what's the process? I walk around that's one part of my question. The second is I walk around the building on 4th Avenue last Saturday, and I was just trying to figure it out where the playground will be. I don't know if you have the details on the construction side, but it made me think that it was going to be on the roof or something, because it didn't have,
Yes,
and
you're
I
right.
seen some of that in the Bronx, where they have athletic fields on top of the high schools and all that. So,
Yes. Well, that's a
okay,
good
thank
question.
you.
It is going to be up on the roof. I'm actually going to just share this for a moment so I can show you a little, sorry, along with the pictures, there was, a little
Yeah, that's the
rendering.
old.
So this is
I think
actually
they call it El
the,
Castillo. I think that was called. the
exactly,
building at
little
one point.
castle is right. So
Yeah.
you see that here
Yeah.
on the corner. And this is the other side of it, and the playground will be up there. So it's going to be a very unique and cool building. Okay, and as for the other question, you said, do we know what's going to be there? That decision is made by the DOE, by superintendent and parents and everybody working together. There was a time when this was discussed, that school was discussed. And so sometimes there is a plan for a specific school, and other times, that plan is made much closer to opening time. That particular building, I think at one time was spoken about as a part of the school across the street, 516. But I don't know for sure if that's still the plan. That's a good question for your superintendent and everyone at the DOE.
Thank you very much, Tamara.
You're welcome.
I believe that is still part of the plan.
Tia, you had another question?
Oh, thank you. Just because some of our other council members didn't ask a question, I thought I could have an extra question, but just wanted to know if I noticed on the budget that that there was quite a lot of money for technology. And I just wanted to know if any of that technology included software. Just curious, because obviously you're about buildings, but then I'm seeing laptops and or unless the laptops were just an example of Reso A that has nothing to do with SCA.
So the technology I showed was an example mainly of the Reso A technology grants.
But I was seeing
a lot,
yeah.
Right, I'll answer you.
Yeah.
There is a lot that is not capital eligible, and software is an example of that. And in general, computers wouldn't necessarily be. For example, like iPads have classically not been eligible. Maybe they'll be added in the future, but when a school is getting a laptop cart, a huge laptop cart with like 30 or 50 laptops, that is considered eligible for funding.
Thank you. Okay, so there's no software in there.
I think that it's probably loaded with certain programs from the DOE, but I am not absolutely sure. I'm sure it doesn't come completely blank. There must be something in the laptops. But in general, if it was just wanting to purchase, if a school just wanted to purchase a software program, that would not be eligible.
Okay, because it is a very, very large number. Okay. Maybe
that was
maybe
committed
yeah.
If you're talking about the Reso A,
no, not committed. The Reso A. Sorry, I'm trying to find. I took a screenshot.
No, I know. Now I know what you mean.
Over $1 billion. Yeah.
Yes, that is for things like wiring, broadband.
Okay.
Yeah, which is construction, as it needs to go around entire school buildings. That's an example of one of the kinds of things that's under that technology category.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That was a great question. I think we can move on to the priority list.
Okay, Fantastic. I just want to welcome Superintendent Scott, who is with us now. Welcome, Anita. Thank you for being here. I hope everything went well earlier. Okay, great. So, Antonia, would you mind screen sharing so that we can just sort of look at the spreadsheet?
Sure.
So basically, all of the CEC members were tasked with reaching out to their liaison schools, meeting with principals, doing building walkthroughs if they were able to, because of the pandemic, and coming up with a list of possible issues, concerns, repair, renovation, safety hazards, tripping hazards, water damage, all of these type of things that we could assess. And so our spreadsheet is very long, as usual. Jamar knows this. And basically tonight we are coming together to discuss what are the top 5 priorities that we would like added to the capital plan amendment. So of course, these have to get vetted and approved by SCA, but Carmine, who we talked about earlier from DSF, was very generous with his time, and he went through the entire spreadsheet and gave us a heads up on which items are SCA, which are DSF, which could fall under Reso A, which could be available through grants funding. And he also offered to work with our principals for any of these items that they have listed there. So CEC members, please follow up with your principals and do ask them to get in touch with Carmine and Patrice to find out about getting some of these items off of this spreadsheet and onto another one. So I think if everybody could quickly review your schools, and that last column, you'll see in the areas where it says SCA, let's just focus specifically on those line items. The items that say SCA Reso A are items that we can discuss with city council people. And I want to welcome Lincoln Ressler to the call. Welcome. You want to
Thank you
say
so
hi?
much. Oh, sure. I just want to say hello. I'm coming in the 33rd for Steve Levin. We've got about a dozen schools in District 15, like PS38 and PS261 and MS447 and a number of other great ones. And just am a big admirer of CEC15. You all have done terrific work. You've been a model for the city and what a CEC can do. Middle school integration plan is like it's an inspiration. And I just want to be a helpful advocate and champion for each of our schools to make sure that folks are getting the resources they need and that we're advancing our values and especially equity values in our schools. So as it comes to the capital funding here, we're going to be pushing with the SCA and really eager to understand what are CEC15's priorities so that we can be rowing in the same direction and pushing for the same things and making sure that our school communities are getting what they need. So, I'm a phone call and email away. I'll put my contact info in the chat. I'm unfortunately standing outside of NYCHA Development tonight in District 15 that's without heat or water. So we're looking out for the folks in Gowanus, but trying to get everything back on track. But anything I can do to help and just let me know. We'll try to regularly have a staff member from our team join these meetings so that we're in touch with you all and a resource. So thank you, Camille, for everything you do. And thanks for the whole CEC15 team and Anita, you guys got a great superintendent. Just excited to work together. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being here and thank you for that introduction. I want to say that all of the kind words that you have offered about CEC15, much of the credit is to Superintendent Scott for her undying support of this council. She is available 24 hours a day and always happy to get involved, get down and get dirty with all of the work, doing all of this hard work, and really has been a guiding force. And so her team is amazing. And it's just a pleasure to work with so many people, our council members, just incredible, talented people who just really want the best for every single child. And, you know, it's a great foundation to work with and people to work with. So thank you. Thank you for shouting that out. It's always good to give credit where credit's due. So thank you very much. Thank you. So I guess let's go around the room, so to speak, and we can talk about some of the items on the list and what we feel like we'd like to prioritize. And Antonia has a page 2 on the spreadsheet. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to get over a cold. On page 2 of the spreadsheet, we'll just sort of put down our priorities for each one of our schools, maybe, and then try to start narrowing them down. We could, should we just go through the spreadsheet? Like just kind of go from the top?
Yeah, why don't we have each member sort of go through their schools, but only the SCA
Yeah.
repair.
You know what, I'm gonna run over to the other computer and try to fill in those items that Carmine just gave me right before we got on the call. So I'll be offline, well, off here, and then I'll come right back.
Can we have Nana maybe start discussing his school? Like, and then sort of just like have every member just start talking about their schools on the list, and I'll scroll down so that they can discuss them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nana, are you able to speak?
Yeah, sure. So just talking about the SCA for PS15. So I was in touch with the principal. So the first pretty much urgent need was a playground. Just in summary, it's not usable, it's pretty bad shape. And it also poses a safety concern for the kids as well. So that's one thing that she did mention, that, you know, she was hoping that this could be considered. So the previous people had the SCA team come and they shared this project will be upwards of $3 million. So that's a pretty big task. The other one is basically the school auditorium. SCA, you know, some upgrades as well. Flooring, seating, lighting system need to be replaced. So those are the two ones that were the SCA. The other one was more for wish list, which was the greenhouse extension of the side building, but I'll hold off to that for now. For I think
Let me
other
scroll
school,
down. I'll scroll down
one.
so that I can find you on the
yeah,
list.
was
Here
PS
we go.
124. 124, yeah. So for 124, so they needed some AC replacements. So pretty much, you know, in the number of about 8 air conditioners around the building, none of those are working in there. So that's, you know, a need that they had, hopefully to be able to get this replaced. So those are the those were the 2 quick needs that I had. For 130, I've not gotten anything yet, but I'm hoping to get something out to the list. I'll reach out to them. So that's it for me.
Okay. All right. Let me scroll back up. I think those ACs aren't going to be SCA though.
No.
Yeah.
And I just did text with Carmine. He's having the D13 CEC meeting, and Just for clarification, it was not repairs. It was for replacements of some classroom ACs, not repairs. We still do not have a contract for repairing of the ACs.
Oh, boy.
What does it take to get a contract?
Well, actually, for the repairs, we haven't had a contract for repairs in ages. It's just for the replacement. Even with the contracts right now, with the supply chain being broken, we're having a little delay with the AC installs, the direct replacements. Hopefully that'll be picking up soon once we get, the supply chain back in some kind of working order.
So was there never an intention to repair? It was just, we get rid of them? Is that, or do principals have to pay for the repairs for them by themselves?
As far as I know, that I was just speaking with Carmine, there was no intention to repair. It's easier and cheaper most of the times to get the replacement. How many ACs are we speaking of?
In that case, it looked like, Nana, there were 8, right?
8, I know that.
Yes.
I have that one, yes. I know that we were working on some in K107, which were an issue. But I don't see anything else, and I don't see anything on my wish list for AC repair or replacement.
Which
Yeah,
school
this
was
is
that for?
124.
124.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. Carmine and I can definitely look into that and handle it. I'm gonna text him right now.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing.
Camille, do you want to read your list or should we skip you at the moment? Are you there? Camille,
Sorry. Okay.
can you kind of just go down your,
Yeah, I have it printed out. So for PS24, I met with the principal and the custodian, and we reviewed the BCAS report and then discussed pending projects that they have already happening around the school, and then other things that they felt were really necessary. For example, this science room that they're using is really small, and so they swapped out the art room. So they're using the art room for science because it's bigger. It's kind of like a crazy story. It shouldn't be happening. So I will follow up with, I guess, Dahana about Reso A for that. And then they were saying that a lot of the entrance doors and exit doors have like all of this corrosion around them, but DSF is going to follow up on that. And then they have a really crazy situation going on in the play yard. It was built up off of the main sidewalk level, and part of it is collapsing. So that definitely needs to be taken care of. I guess through Reso A, but at the same time, they're saying that their play yard really requires like something that can be more ADA compliant, because they have a lot of students there that are in Horizon programs and they need a more appropriate play yard or play equipment rather. All right, let me see what else. Roof leaks that are going to be taken care of from DSF that are coming through the hallway ceilings and damaging all of the tiles. So, and then bathroom upgrades that DSF will be doing. And they were interested in a garden or greenhouse to be able to incorporate their science lesson. So I'll follow up with Reso A there. So, Tamar, this is like one of those places where I was hoping that you could offer some advice. Did anything that I say sound like it would be in the capital plan, or would all of that?
At
fall under-
PS24?
Yeah,
Yes. There's going to be a project starting actually very soon that will repair the parapets and parts of the roof. So I think that obviously
That will help
anything.
the flooding.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. And anything immediate, of course, DSF will be involved, but there's a project that was approved just a few months ago to start. We're just
Okay, great.
pulling
then-
permits and doing that thing. So that'll start fairly soon. in the
Okay,
next-
so I think
few
as far as PS24 goes, like I will follow up with all of these other people, and I don't think that we need to put anything on this list on
Yeah.
the priority list of ours. Okay. You're just going like school by school, right? You don't want me to.
No,
my
I'm,
other
I'm
schools.
going person by person. So I scrolled down to your next group. Be efficient.
And that's,
293.
yeah, okay, VHS, great. Okay, well, I'm happy that Nicole is here so that she can confirm everything that I'm about to say. As she used to be the principal in this building before she was promoted to deputy superintendent. Yay. Okay. So these are the items that I believe go through SCA. There's two of them. So one of them is that this building is not ADA compliant in any way, shape, or form. And there are a number of schools in the building. So it's co-located school. And there's a D75 program in the school. And it really feels like ADA compliance has to be prioritized. They're also a school that has a cafeteria that services all of, it's like a satellite school. So a lot of action and activity happening in this building, and the idea that, you can't get in with a baby carriage, you can't get in if you broke your leg or, are walking with a cane. So just really, doesn't make any sense why that is not being prioritized. So I'd like to put that as one of the asks. And then coupled with the doorways throughout the building are just not wide enough. I'm not really sure what's happening there. And then, so I think we had asked for this before, but I'm asking again. And I was told by Carmine that school foods would be connected to the ask for air conditioning in the kitchen/cafeteria. And for DSF, plumbing, repair some faucets, and heating in the chemistry lab not working, heating in the building not working well, and fire safety. So during the fire drills, I'm being told that you can't hear the bells on the second floor. Carmine believes that this is something that they can repair and that it doesn't necessarily require a new system. There's specific rooms that need air conditioning that don't have them, and office space for teachers to meet with parents, also air conditioning broken. So I did talk to Carmine before we came on this meeting, and he said that he has a lot of ability to replace air conditioners right now. So anyone who is asking for air conditioner replacement should definitely be reaching out to him ASAP. So air conditioning in the gym and in the cafeteria for the student areas. Carmine was saying that he would help to submit for a grant for that. So Tamar, how does this work now with the air conditioning in these large spaces?
Yeah, that's a good question. The AC for all, as you know, was prioritized for classroom spaces. And so we've been encouraging schools to possibly apply for RES-OA grants for split systems. A lot of those very large spaces really, window air conditioners aren't the best cooling for, a large gym, a huge cafeteria. So that's actually a good reso-A request. But also, there may be a chance to do a, AC for All Part 2, maybe, if the city council and mayor look at air conditioning the public assembly spaces. But right now it's not included.
See another
But the,
in our future. Tia, you're taking notes, right?
but one thing to say is that the electrical upgrades actually were such a good thing, because they mean that this kind of system can be supported. And that was a huge part of the effort. So even though actual units were prioritized for classroom spaces, and that was major, and that's been fulfilled, I'm happy to say, we did, major electrical upgrades all around the city. So if people do get funding for split systems, they can be supported in the schools. So that's important to say. It's
Great.
possible.
Thank you so much. We will send you our draft resolution for your review. Okay, and then also Reso-A for BHS is third floor science labs. 2 of the rooms need an upgrade for Bunsen burners, and equipment is outdated. So I guess this is like redoing science labs. And then safety upgrades in the chem labs, much of the same. So I guess that may or may not be a $50,000 minimum, but we'll pursue the Reso-A on that. Nicole, did you have anything else you wanted to add specifically to this building? She's still here. Okay, we can come up. All right, and then so they also had High School for the Arts and 447. They're in a co-located building. This is really a lot. I represented this building and these 2 schools in a past CEC term, and I am disappointed and completely devastated that the list keeps getting longer and instead of shorter. And much of this is new. So it's a lot. But one of the most important things is that the fire alarms need to be replaced entirely. Like, the system is just not working. They've tried to repair it tons and tons of times. If Lincoln is still on the call, he can attest to neighbors complaining in the middle of the night because the alarms are going off at the building when there is no fire. And then when there is a fire, which there had been a fire, the alarm's only ringing on one side of the building, because it's like 2 buildings that are connected by a corridor, and fire happened to be in a classroom that was at the corridor. And so, okay, I can't even get into it. It's really upsetting. So I would like to ask that that be one of the priorities. They have a unbelievable situation going on with flooding from outside, from the city sewer, or, well, I don't know if it's a sewer, but it's a water supply line. Every time it rains excessively, their basement is being flooded with city water. And they've been trying to figure out what's going on here, and nobody can seem to find the solution. And they just had a $300,000 recording studio put into the basement, and they're dealing with all of this flooding. So it's totally crazy. I mean, to me, that just is like a priority, period. Nothing to do with our list. It just like has got to be resolved. And then they're also saying that the gym needs to be renovated entirely. It just, there's leaks and the floor got damaged and the windows do not open or work well. And it's on the first floor, I guess, but then there's no exit to the sidewalk. So kind of like a fire hazard as well. And the gym is just not feasible for PSAL sports. And then another request from 447 specifically is that they use the entrance on Bean Street. It is not wheelchair accessible, and they have students that are using wheelchairs and staff. And so in order for the students and staff that are in wheelchairs, they have to go through the freight elevator, and the freight elevator does not always work. And I mean, it's just disgraceful. I'm sorry to say, totally unacceptable. So I feel like this also just needs to be prioritized, some sort of ADA compliance in this space. I will get in touch with ESF and work with Lincoln on some of this Reso A work, but I really think that at this point, 447 and High School for the Arts have been in this building together for a long time now, and both schools are growing, and they are living in a space, in two spaces, one of which was not a school, was not designed as a school, and is not functioning as a school. So moving forward, I think that we need to think about, is there a way to, High School for the Arts is a much larger school, and does it make sense for them to just take over the whole space and we find a new home for 447? It's just something to think about in the future.
Oh, okay. I think that was your last one, Camille. So I'm gonna move back up the list. And Yvonne?
Antonia, yes, can I go with my school piece 29?
Yes, please.
I got contacted principal there, and she was telling me that the auditorium really needs an upgrade. It's much needed an AC system there, and also the tiles on the floor and the seats are falling apart. So that would be one of the priorities. But also, I think besides that, the boiler system, it needs to be replaced. And also another school with ADA compliance, they need that for the bathrooms, and also have problems with the tiles on the floor, and the flushometers need to be replaced. And also an AC system needed in the cafeteria. That is for my 29. I have also contacted PS 131, and the school needs repairs, big repairs on the bathroom tiles, and also they're looking for a complete upgrade of the playground equipment, and also as well as 29, they need a new boiler system. And also, many of the classrooms, they need a really good painting job right now. And yeah, I still need to open my other two schools, but those are the two that I was able to
Okay.
reach. Yeah.
Let me scroll back up. Okay, Nancy, I think you're next here.
Okay. So PS32 has had a massive addition to it. And in the new building, even though it's in the new building, the pre-K schoolyard, which is completely new, was constructed without any shading. I toured the school with Principal Watson, and we walked outside at 12 noon in December, and in December the sun was bright and shining, and she said that it can be it can be a problem for children getting sunburned, for teachers getting sunburned. So she would like to add shading to the pre-K schoolyard. And that seems to be something that the SCA could do. It seems it's not under the SCA, but I'll just mention briefly, the gym needs AC. It's in the old building and nothing was done to it. It was quite hot when we went in there, even though there were no students doing anything at the time there. So I can only imagine what it's like to be, running around and exercising in that space. And then the auditorium also needs AC. It's in the old building and it was not redone and it gets very hot.
All right, scrolling down.
Unfortunately, 51, I reached out a few times. I have not, unfortunately, been able to make contact to tour the building.
Okay. Is there, oh, here we go.
320, yeah, 321, I toured the building with Principal Elizabeth Phillips and PTA President Sasidi Odunse. And so I'll mention briefly the main issue, which is showing up as DSF, but for them, the main issue was that there is central AC in what they call the mini school, which is a building that was built behind the main school building. And it was supposed to have been a temporary space. And of course, now there's been people in there for 40, 50 years. And it's actually quite a big space. And I took photos of the AC unit. It's in bad condition. It looks like it's, instead of 40 years old, it looks like it's 80 years old. I mean, it's in terrible condition. And what ends up happening is that they have to really crank it up so that in the winter, some spaces have way too much heat just so that other classrooms can have some heat. And then in the summer, it's the opposite, or in September, it's the opposite, where they're cranking up the cool air. And some people are wearing coats because, it's too cold in their classroom. So other classrooms can just have some AC. So that was really their big issue. And I would love to have them talk to DSF to see how that can be resolved and have that whole system changed for them. The front schoolyard did receive a capital improvement grant from Brad Lander's office to become accessible. So hopefully that money is coming in anytime now. The back schoolyard was not included in the grant, and it needs the rubber mats fixed, and the play structure needs to be changed. It was in really, really bad shape and seemingly very dangerous. The water faucets and fountains in the mini school were an issue. Some rooms had no sink, and then several water fountains just weren't usable. And then the auditorium, the principal really wants a change there. The seats are old, they're just in really bad shape. And so the auditorium doesn't seat it only seats 239 people, and there's 1,000 students. And then they must use the gym and the cafeteria for lunch. And so there's a lot of moving tables around to make it possible for students to be able to have lunch. So there simply isn't enough space for the student body. And then I have one more school, Antonia. It's 676. Yes, thank you. And then PS 676, of course, there's a lot kind of happening with 676 right now because it is transitioning into a middle school. So I was able to tour the school with the head custodian there, Sal, and the outdoor playgrounds had sunken rubber mats that seemed extremely dangerous. The gym floor was warped from a recent rain, and they needed to cut patches out and try to replace those patches. The cafeteria floor, same thing. They're patching up the cafeteria floor. The water fountains, 6 in the building, weren't working. And then one of the main things that they were concerned about, that the principal was concerned about, he told me, is that the staircase doors don't fully close, and the building has received several violations for these doors, and they really need to be fixed so that they're fully closing.
That's a big one. In light of what just happened.
Yeah,
Is that it?
that's it.
Okay. Let's
Thank
see,
you.
I'll scroll back up. So we went Camille. Oh, okay. So now it's my turn. Okay, so I have PS 38. And I hope Council Member Wrestler is still on the line because this is a school that he may be able to help with an SCA Reso A grant for their for a new AV system in the auditorium. They need speakers and a screen. They need ACs in their common spaces, in their cafeteria, gym, and auditorium. But I'm seeing apparently that's DSF that can provide the proposal and submit a grant. Okay, so that's not. So I guess they also need to repair an electrical switch in the basement. That's also DSF. But the only SCA thing I've got for PS 38 is a schoolyard renovation. They have several safety hazards. They need a new fence. It was cut and students are able to leave the school property. So that's a bit of a problem. And they need new ground covering under the play equipment. It's breaking off and it no longer functions for safety, and it sort of covers the children's clothes. There is some cracked asphalt, and it seems the play equipment itself is could be repaired. It's a bit dated. So I guess for 38, the only SCA project would be the schoolyard renovation. Then for PS 94, I have, they are looking for an elevator. SCA could provide them with an elevator so that they can be ADA compliant. They also need ACs in their cafeteria and new tables. They are looking for a gym upgrade. Hopefully we can help them with a Reso A grant on that, and an update to their music room. And PS 107, they actually need an electrical upgrade, Kumar, if you're listening. I think that they're one of the last schools perhaps in the district who hasn't had an electrical upgrade yet, from what I understand. They also need a new heating system, and they can work with DSF on that. They are currently working with DSF on that. But it's an ongoing issue, and they haven't been able to resolve it for the past 6 years. They've got rusting pipes. that are leaking. I believe she said a substance called glycol. I'm not sure what glycol is. Classrooms are consistently without heat. And they've been hanging industrial heaters that are plugged into the AC to patch the heat. And
Antonio,
sorry.
can I add something? It's Anita. This is an ongoing issue tomorrow. The school every couple of weeks has an issue with heat. DSF has sent people constantly, and they have told me that they will do extensive work, but it needs a whole new heating system, a complete new heating system.
So it is SCA. It's just beyond the point of DSF.
I think so.
Okay.
At least somebody should go and check it out and see what the deal is. There should be some conversation between the two entities.
Thank you, Anita. She is struggling to understand how to use her grant from the city council to purchase ACs, and they must be purchased this year. We'll work with DSF on that. And they need a schoolyard renovation with play equipment. Hopefully we can help them with a Reso A grant there. They do have leaks into the building because the schoolyard's not pitched away from the building correctly. And I will move on to my next school. PS 154. They are looking for an elevator. And then they have various issues that we can work with facilities on. They need a bathroom reno on the first floor. They have been trying to figure out what to do about numerous broken ACs. They need AC in the cafeteria and the multimedia room. And then if Lincoln Wrestler is still on, PS 261 is looking for new bathrooms throughout. Their bathrooms are quite dated. And they need lighting around the perimeter of the schoolyard because they can't use it after dark, and obviously after school runs until 6 o'clock, and they are using their schoolyard, but it gets to be too dark out there. So, and let me see, I think that's my last one. Yes, that's all I've got. Wait, let me scroll back to the top. All right, Alfred's not here. Joe, do you have anything? Or Tia, did we do you? Tia, did we do you yet?
I have no updates. I contacted K280, MS88, 442 on a number of occasions, and no SCA priority items have been communicated.
Okay. Tia, did you?
No, you have not done me yet.
Okay, good. Let's see.
I was only able to visit one school. None of my other schools have gotten in touch.
Okay. Am I getting? Oh, here we go. Here you are. 516.
Right. So I actually took pictures. I'm gonna put them in the chat if I can. Let's see. Oh, it won't let me do more than one at a time. Okay. So their main thing, and as it says here, they've asked before for a door that goes directly to their playground, because they have to walk out the front door and then around the building to go into the schoolyard. There's a lot of construction going on across the street. So there's a lot of like, you know, cement mixers and like heavy equipment. And it's really scary for them to be taking a line full of very small children past all of this construction equipment. And there is a window currently that they were hoping, because there's already an opening, that could be expanded into a door that goes from their auditorium that could go out to the playground. So anyway, there's pictures here. If anyone wants to click on them, you can see the door, the window that they're talking about in the schoolyard. And of course, this is a parking lot. This is a rental. They're renting the parking lot from the diocese, and they're having a lot of injuries, like you know, kids falling down. And there actually has been some rubber applied to the cement stops that stop the cars, you know, when you park, because kids were banging their heads on those. And they're having to use a lot of extra staff to supervise kids on this playground. And so they're hoping for some kind of playground surface there, but since it is a parking lot, you know, I don't know what can be done there. But and then there's also a gate, a sliding gate that the kids have to go through. You know, they go around the building and then have to go in the sliding gate, and kids are getting injured in this sliding gate a lot too. So yeah, there's the gate, there's the door. More air conditioning. They want air conditioning for their multi-purpose room. You know, I'm going to take this opportunity to point out how important air conditioning is in the era of COVID. It is the way that air is circulated out of a room if there are no windows. So I do feel like it's almost worth having like a whole CEC meeting devoted to air conditioning, because it seems like there are a lot of details to be sorted out. Yeah, okay, so those were the things, and I'm going to continue to try to get into my other schools.
Okay. So I think that leaves, did Vincent Liu put anything on here that maybe we can just read out? Let's see. Did everybody who is here get to speak? I think I got everybody.
Not Nana.
Oh, no, I think Nana went first.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Nana.
That's okay. All right. So now I guess the horse trading portion begins, Camille, where we sort of talk about which are the standout issues that we want to, how should we go about that, Camille? Are you there? Camille? I mean, one way we could just do it is go into this sheet and just.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still coughing, if you can believe it.
No, it's fine. Should we all sort of individually like make a list of?
Yeah, I was just at the other computer. I was trying to start that. But if you all just Is everybody able to access the spreadsheet? Did we share the link to the spreadsheet in the chat?
Sure, I could do that.
And did we solicit from anybody on the call about additional items that someone might want to suggest? Oh, hi, Nicholas from DSF. Nice to meet you. And would like to add boiler replacement at K321 if needed. Okay, let's add that. Thank you.
Camille?
This is Tamar. I wanted to answer that. Hi, Nick, from DSF. The boiler replacement at 321 is starting imminently.
Okay, great.
Yeah. We're in, touch with the school about all of that, and fairly soon there'll be a temporary boiler on Lincoln Place, and the project will start. And if I could just weigh in just a smidge here, is that okay on some of these things? Because I got like a few thoughts as I was going through. One thing I added a note for Tia and everybody regarding PS516. Just a note, we are actually leasing the entire building, not just the parking lot from the diocese. So some of those items, outside items, I would say, are really the responsibility of the diocese. And we have been talking to the principal and talking to the diocese for quite a long time, trying to get some of these things dealt with. I think some of them have been addressed, but for example, we're not able to create that doorway because we don't own the building. We can, the renovations that we do, of course, are in the inside, but they are actively using the parking lot, and they own all of that. So it can be tricky, but we've been talking to the diocese about some of these things, and we'll continue doing that. But then my overall, and then if it's okay, I need to sign off for the night, is anything, I heard a few things that I agree with, systems particularly, and if they're not already projects, and, definitely DSF, any kind of heating, just like Nick said about 321, right? I think somebody mentioned 107, or it was a few opinions regarding boilers. Those are definitely under SEA jurisdiction. Now, I can't say for sure whether those things need to be replaced. I don't have any information to back that up just yet, just hearing about it for the first time. But that's definitely a conversation that DSF and SEA should have, because that's a major system. And if that, something has been repaired multiple times, or it's causing discomfort in the building, definitely something that should be discussed. I don't know that, I'm not sure if you need to prioritize it on your list, but I definitely agree that should, if my colleagues across the aisle at DSF are on about those various things, we should all be talking about it, with the SCA and capital planning and our construction BCAS, the BCAS team. So that's thoughts about that. Gyms and playgrounds, definitely. Oh, and AC split systems for those larger public assembly spaces. Fantastic. Oh, science labs, very, very good. All of them, Resaway projects. They definitely can happen under the regular capital plan, sure. But there isn't, when you look through the capital plan, you see that there is certainly money set aside for some, enhancements for schools, but those are such good Resaway projects. I know that some city council members have really prioritized tech. I guess I would say that, in my opinion, tech has come such a long way, and I think a lot of schools have really good tech. But these spaces could be great for the next council members to fund. So I hope that, I guess that's the struggle, is whether to prioritize it on your list or work with your schools and make sure they have all the information, and then guidance and guidance from us as well. Because as I said at the end of my presentation, we have people who principals can and should call and say, okay,
So we want this science lab to be upgraded. How much do you think is good to ask for? Here's the size and that kind of thing. And they can help with that. I know that's a little bit of a struggle to figure out, whether that's best on your list or maybe both. But yeah, I guess I feel that for the larger systems that you mentioned, the boilers and things, that is so obviously something that if it is true and it needs to be replaced, you could bring attention to it on your list, but I don't want you to waste your spaces. So I guess that's the conversation you all need to have. But those are my thoughts.
Tamara, thank you so much. Thank you for always being here for us. Many years ago, when we first started working together on this SCA capital plan, and we were supposed to just have 5 schools, and I met with our council members and ran through the BCAS with them and taught them how to do all of this, and then came back with hundreds of items to list. And you were such a good sport about it. And CSF Joe Lazarus, he's a dream come true. So glad that he has moved up to a citywide level.
Yeah, he was great to work with, and Carmine is too, and Patrice.
Yeah.
I can see from your list how much work Carmine did, and it's so appreciated because there's really no reason to wait on those. Those are things that can be handled, and we appreciate them so much. Identifying those projects.
Yeah, it's just great to work so collaboratively with all of your division. So I just want to thank you so much for that, and thank you for being here. So we'll get this submitted by Friday.
Okay, sounds good. And as I said, contact, it was Eric Martyr from the SCA sent you the form if you have any trouble submitting it at all.
I've been writing.
Yeah, he's super nice and he'll help out. All right. So thank you so much and good luck with this process. I know it's a lot. We're always here for you. And best to everybody for the new year. Stay safe.
Okay, so see you soon then. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks
See you
very
soon.
much.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Okay, so back to the list. So whoever has access to the list, if you could highlight the items that you would like to have prioritized. I did mine in fuchsia. You could do it in fuchsia too if you want, just to make it easier to look at, and then we'll start transferring it over to the page 2 of the spreadsheet, and then we can all.
Where did you do this, Camille? Where did you start writing them?
There, you see that?
Oh,
I was just so that we could see it quickly.
I
didn't start I didn't move it over yet. I was just about to do that when you called me back.
Does everybody have access to the document? Because since I'm sharing my screen, I can't put anything in the chat.
In the interest of time, it would be crazy to just move on in the agenda and come back to this after we had it all kind of formulated, or just take a couple of minutes for people to choose what they see as their own priorities for their schools.
Should I stop sharing the screen?
Yeah, stop sharing it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I just want to say that Maria Diaz, who is the principal at PS24, is here on the call with us. So thank you, Maria, for being here. And Nicholas just dropped in the chat that doors and vestibules at PS24 are also included in the upcoming SCA exterior project. So thank you so much for that information. Should we pause the recording while everybody's working on their project?
I guess so.
Okay, fine. So the updating of the spreadsheet is taking a lot longer than planned. We have a plan B, or we'll just keep working on it and you guys can have a conversation about some of these items.
I think
What would you like?
everybody's done, right?
Have all the fuchsia things been it doesn't look like all the fuchsia things
No,
have been
they haven't been transferred at all.
Okay.
Maria, did you want to speak about what you're writing in the chat?
Yes, thank you, Camille. This is Maria Diaz, principal at PS24. Thank you, Camille, for the support. So yes, there's one classroom in particular that has had a leak for years. And then there's an area on the 4th floor. There's also an area in the hallway. It's been an ongoing thing. It's not a consistent leak, like it doesn't happen all the time, but for the most part, for certain weeks throughout the year, the teachers have to have like a bucket under, and the custodial team has to replace the tiles on the ceiling frequently. So it's been an ongoing, and I want to say for as long as I can remember, that has been an issue. And it's again on one of the far end rooms on the 4th floor and in the hallway towards the middle portion.
Thank you for that.
Maria, could you just like send all of that in an email to us so we can make sure it's on our final list?
Thank you so much. I will. And as I noted before, I don't know if any of you had the opportunity to read it. One of my most concerning situations are the foyer or the vestibule. They are like extremely corroded. The columns that hold the door in place, the custodial team has placed like metal shields on the bottom, but the corrosion is extensive. And the corrosion on top, like I'm afraid that we're going to have like one of these big snowstorms and the whole thing is going to collapse. Or one of the doors is going to close a little too hard and the entire vestibule is going to collapse. The year that I started as principal, almost 2 years ago, we had an issue with rodents, right? And we were always afraid that the rodents were going to creep in through those crevices on the bottom portion of the doors. There's one area that is more corroded, like one side of the school seems more corroded than the other, but all the exterior doors are experiencing that corrosion on the bottom. But the vestibule leading to the big yard is the one that is most concerning, and the little yard. Those two are the most concerning because it's not just the bottom, but also the top. And I could send pictures as well.
Oh, I see. Camille has this all on her list for you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
I found it. I just found it. And a lot of it, okay, and it seems it's all Division of School Facilities responsibility.
Okay, that just seems to have been, it's been taking a long time. I know, you know, COVID and everything else going on, but again, it's a huge safety concern for me.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
By the way, I dropped photos of the AC unit at PS 321 into the chat.
Thank you, Nancy.
Okay, so I think that the list is done now. And has everybody been looking at page 2 and reviewing?
Yeah, I've already started Xing my top 5.
Is everybody else able to access the document?
I think one thing is missing from here. Let me just check. Yeah, the new heating system didn't get in there for
For
107.
which school?
For 107. I'll put it down at the bottom.
Oh, by the way, for PS 38 schoolyard renovation, I think that the Trust for Public Land is already involved in that. And then they were not starting the work yet because there was some other exterior work being done to the building that needed to be completed first. Did Pascal talk to you about that?
I'm sorry.
For PS 38? Because I was working with them last year and this had come up.
She didn't talk about the Trust for Public Land.
I think all of this is already approved and it's just a matter of time. Because SCA, too bad Tamara is not here anymore.
Mhm.
Can we put this vestibule here that uh Principal Diaz mentioned before? Because that seems like a huge safety hazard.
I was just looking for that. That's funny.
But I'm not sure it's SCA.
It wasn't there originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's like
how
a
about-
repair
I
thing.
mean, we can add it.
Coming for
Yeah, just
PS,
write it in. I was at the other computer when she was talking. and somebody just write it in to the spreadsheet and on page 1? So it doesn't get lost.
coming for PS15. I didn't mention the playground that is in the pretty bad shape. I don't see that on there, and I think that was their top priority for PS15.
The auditorium upgrade was the thing that got highlighted. Maybe that was a mistake. Did you want to swap it out?
The
Or
playground.
Okay.
can you do that,
I mean, both of
Anthony?
them was urgent,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
think
yeah. But the thing is, I think the playground was listed as SCA Reso A.
okay.
Do we want to use a space when that could for SCA when that could be funded through the city council?
Okay, got it.
And Steve just wrote in the chat, playgrounds won't be SCA to my knowledge. That's Reso A. And that's how
That's
I
what
understood it as well.
Mark said.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna send all these to the DSF, and we should probably put together a letter for all the city council members with all of the Reso A requests.
I already shared the spreadsheet with Lincoln since he was here on the call, and I was just going to write to the city council people and copy the principal of each school, and just sort of like do it more individualized.
Then maybe each CEC liaison should send a letter to the city council person that covers the school with the resume request.
Yeah, and then the same for DSF, because Carmine said that, he's going to need to connect with principals to,
Mhm.
or that the principals can connect directly with him.
Okay.
So Nana, do you want to keep that auditorium upgrade on this list we're voting on?
Yeah, keep it on the list, yeah. If the other ones was, yeah.
I think I'm gonna combine those first two items because that's just sort of like all about ADA compliance.
And I have selected my 5. I'm gonna just step away from the camera for a minute, if that's okay. wait a minute. Shoot. So are the ones in yellow the ones with the most votes? Um, Camille, are you down there or are you at your other computer?
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm here.
So, what's the deal with the yellow?
Oh, I was just trying to sort by category. So those were all of the heating issues, and then trying to sort by ADA compliant and the elevators. The elevator at 94, I think that there is a physical way to do it, but at 154, I'm not sure how that would work. Like I don't think the building's big enough to have an interior elevator, and there are ways to do the exterior elevator.
Yeah, they were talking about an exterior elevator in the
Yeah.
back.
In the back.
Yeah. So maybe we should not highlight those things. Maybe we should highlight the ones with the most votes.
Yeah,
Since
take it away. I was just doing
Okay.
it like I was just trying to sort without sorting. So to
Oh, I
speak.
okay. So,
And I just want to call attention to it's 8:51 and we still have a lot of stuff.
yeah, so let me just highlight the ones with the most votes.
Can you put it on the screen maybe? Or no, you can't because then
I will when I finish putting up coloring in the ones that have the most votes. Then I'll. So these have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes. And this has 3 votes. 3 votes. This one has 4 votes. This one has 3 votes. Three votes. Okay, so there are 4 clear winners with 5 votes. So the fire alarm has 6 votes. The heating system at 107 has 4 votes. The heating system at wait, which school is this? This is at, I think that was 231. Nancy's, oh, it's 321. 321 has 6 votes. And then the boiler system at 29 has 4 votes. And then there's a few of them have 3 votes. So I don't know how to
I have a question. Which boiler system is in worse shape? The one at 29 or 131? Yvonne, you have both schools.
Both the schools are very old.
And if there's 4 schools that are having heating issues, maybe we just write a resolution saying like, we need all of these things attended to immediately. It's the winter, it's like 16 degrees outside.
You know.
okay, but let's finish this. Let's select our top
So take
5.
off, like, let's just, remove the things that did not get votes. And so the 4, you said 4 of them are clear winners.
The ones in yellow are clear winners. Do you want me? Oh, you want me to put this on the screen? Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. So those are the clear winners with 6 and 4 votes. And then there's several up top that have like 3 votes each. And I can't figure out how,
Let's just scoop out the ones that are 3 votes. And then we'll just re-vote again and you can only vote one time.
Okay, so we're going to
I'll do it.
okay.
Just saying good night to everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Good night, Anita.
Okay, so
And we can vote?
basically, we have those few at the bottom. We just have to choose one of those. So go ahead and just choose one.
I think you missed one. Camille. Yeah, she missed. Did she?
Where do we choose the one?
I think it's at the bottom, and the lack of accessibility into the building at BHS is listed twice. Line number 26 and line number 29. Oh, but then 27 and 30 are the same line too.
Camille. I think she messed up. Camille?
Yeah.
This is not correct.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah, my computer was jumping all over the place while I was trying to do it. Can you edit?
I don't know what's missing. Like, so you've got two things on here twice. You've got BHS and 447 on here twice. And I think there's something missing that got 3 votes that
All right, hold on,
maybe you should just reverse, because I don't know what you did. Yeah, it was that new boiler system at 131 that didn't make it on
Didn't make, okay.
because I wanted to vote for that, Yvonne.
Mm.
sorry, I'm like totally confused now. I feel like we lost
Go back,
something. Or
go
was it
back.
just that there were duplicates?
Go back, reverse this all. I don't know what happened.
How many lines were there that had 3 votes? 3?
4.
You sure?
Yeah, go back, just reverse the whole thing. Go back to the way it was. This is a very confusing way to do this.
I think it's only those 2.
No, you gotta reverse it.
Well,
You gotta-
Dia, did you delete something? Because I see your like cursors in that space there.
No,
No?
I think you need to just hit revert.
Just go all the way back to the beginning.
Gotta go, not all the way back to the beginning, but like all before you moved those gold blocks down. After the first, you have to go back to the first vote. All right, so that's all right. So where are all the previous votes? Ay. Ah. Okay. So how do you how have you been doing this? Like I feel like this is so crazy. There's got to be an easy way to do this.
what are you trying to do?
So there are several proposals with 3 votes. Okay, I'm just going to color these because they're the ones with 3 votes. Blue. And this is blue, currently has 3 votes. And this one currently has 3 votes. And this one currently has 3 votes. Oops. I'm going to, I think that's it. I think that's all the ones with 3 votes, right? Okay. I'm going to erase the X marks in, there you go. And then, oh wait, this one too. Now, the proposals that are turquoise, everybody can put their X's in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then we're just choosing one. We're just voting for one. We're not voting for multiples. We're just voting for one of those 4 proposals that are currently turquoise. Okay. It looks like everybody's voted, right? On one of the blue proposals. Okay, so it looks like Yvonne's boiler system. Oh, no, yeah, boiler system at 131. Am I right?
Yes.
That got 3 votes. Does that look right to everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, all right. So now I'm going to make this one yellow. And the winners are the boiler system at 29, the boiler system at 131, the heating and AC system at 321, the heating system at 107, and the fire alarms at 655, basically at 447 and High School of the Arts.
Sounds good.
Those are our top 5. And then we'll just put everything, right? We'll just send SCA everything.
Do we have to vote on the order of those 5 or no?
I don't think we did that in the past.
I don't
No.
remember doing that.
Yeah, it was really just about voting on the 5.
Is Steve here?
Steve is here.
He just wrote no, not really in the chat.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
they
So
just
in
put the
that,
top 5 and that's what they'll prioritize.
yeah, okay. So I'd like to make a motion to vote for these top 5.
Okay, I will second that motion. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so I can notate this vote. Is that all right?
Sounds good.
Okay. I want to put all this put all this in the notes somewhere. Okay, Camille, Kazara, oh wait, who made the motion? Camille?
Yeah.
Who seconded the motion?
We did.
Me? Oh, okay. Camille, do you vote to approve this list of SCA capital plan projects?
I do.
I vote yes. Tia?
Yes.
Okay, Vincent Lou's not here. Nana, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alfred's not here. Joseph Alexander?
Yes.
Yvonne Bonda?
Yes.
And Nancy Randall?
Yes.
Okay, we have approved our SCA capital plan list. We do have to vote on whether Vincent Lou's absence from this meeting is excused or not.
I'd like to make a motion to offer Vincent an excused absence for his work-related inability to be here this evening.
I second that motion. Does anybody, all right, let's put it to vote. Does anybody have anything they want to say about that?
I just wanted to say that last time I thought we said that a work absence is always excused. I thought that's what Stephen had said, that there was no vote needed.
Stephen, is that true? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's one of the things. As long as
Yeah.
he sent the email, he let you all know, right?
Right,
Yeah.
okay,
So
all right,
you're good.
No vote.
okay, we don't need to vote. Okay, good.
Okay, so let's just 9:15 decide what the rest of this evening looks like. And do we want to knock any of this off quickly, or do we want to just plan another session to continue our business meeting?
I would like to parse up the assignment of minutes. If we're not going to have a secretary, we've put that up to a vote at every meeting and nobody has volunteered. I don't anticipate anybody's changed their mind. I would like to divide up the minutes
Discussions.
amongst members.
I will take 10:26.
Okay, that's all right. Camille,
Lay it on me. I'll take
Uh,
whatever.
okay, I'll do it in order. Tia, you're gonna get special session on September 8th.
Okay, what do we got to do?
Oh yeah, I'll send you like a template.
Okay, cool.
And I'll send you like notes that like I've taken, and
Sure.
I'll help you out with that. Okay. Anybody want 9/14/21?
Sure.
Who's that?
Yvonne.
Who?
Yvonne.
It's me, Yvonne.
Oh, okay. All right.
What did you say? 9?
9,
September 14th.
14,
Okay.
21. We have 9/28/21. Anybody? I'm going to give it to Joe.
Mm.
Okay, Nana, you get 10/12.
Okay.
Okay, and Nancy, you get 11/9/21.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's it for now,
Well,
unless you want to.
I have 2 more minutes. I guess I could.
Yeah, we can give it to
Vincent
Alfred
and Alfred.
and
Okay,
Vincent.
I'll just give it to Vincent and Alfred and see what happens.
Actually, you have 111 on there.
That's
so
today.
That's
Yeah.
today.
Today.
Maybe we'll get an AA soon.
There you go. That is something we need to talk to our FACE representative about.
I would like to
Yes.
propose that we schedule another session to review these resolutions because it probably needs its own meeting.
Okay.
Then we can just discuss the AA situation. in
We're still on
executive session.
Louisiana. or-
Yes.
Well, yeah, can Steve just quickly tell us what's going on there?
We need to
What?
go into executive session because now we are
Oh.
talking about payroll and
I mean, I can be
Personnel.
extremely general because
Okay,
there's not really any update.
Great.
They have the salary set, but she hasn't been approved yet. So that's where we're at. So we're still waiting to hear back from the people we have to hear back from.
Oh,
Approved by Face?
No, HR.
Approved by HR.
so nobody has reached out to the candidate.
Not that I'm aware
I
of.
have. I have.
I mean, at the DOE. I know you
No.
have.
No, not until that process is finalized.
Wow. Okay. Okay, we're gonna lose her. This process just doesn't work, Steve.
Yeah, I've been talking to them about it, but even they're a little frustrated about what's going on. But yeah,
Human resources is frustrated.
well, the people on our operations team that handles the communication with resources. I think, yeah, I'm not sure what the holdup is. I'm sorry, I don't really have more information for you.
All right.
I mean, we're not alone. I guess there's 15 CECs that do not have an administrative assistant right now. So this is getting kind of crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right. So Camille, you want to propose another meeting? Do you want to propose a date or we'll just take that offline?
Yeah, I think I'll just send out a doodle poll and I mean, ideally, we would do it before the calendar meeting. So,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, if is next week Tuesday an option for anybody?
Maybe.
I'm not even sure it's an option for me. Nancy, go ahead.
My only concern is that some of these resolutions are really of the moment and the information needs to get out there.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't going to vote on this tonight anyway, but we can send the drafts out to the public.
Awesome.
And I wanted to just direct everybody to the letter to Chancellor Banks, welcoming him to his new role. You all have access to that document. I sent it to everybody, or through Google. You know, if you didn't receive it, let me know.
I think it's a good initiative to invite him also. I mean, he knows what we are, who we are, what we do.
Yeah.
And he's not new to education
No.
context.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Antonia.
drafting it.
So you saw it. Sometimes I wonder
Yes,
when
it's a great
Yeah,
letter.
no. I
Great job.
did.
when you press share, you feel like it just goes out into the ether and you're like, go to anybody. All right.
Okay, we're all getting delirious. So
Yes,
9:22.
yes.
Did
I
you
move to
want to
adjourn.
save the letter for the special session, or do you want to just do that? And this is sort of like the last thing that we're going to do tonight.
Does anybody have the bandwidth to vote on a letter at this point?
I have to leave soon. I'm like 5 hours ahead of time. I'm not
Yes.
We can just vote on a special session.
Okay, so then look for the doodle poll, and I will make a motion to adjourn at 9:23.
All right.
A second.
Thank you to all who have remained on this call. We appreciate you. and have a lovely evening, everyone.
Good night. Thank you, Camille. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
everybody.
All right, I'm gonna press stop on the recording. Did that stop?